Obi-Wan Kenobi was always sold as a special event series. It was going to be a movie, then it shifted into 6 episodes for Disney+, but now that it's over, there's been a lot of talk about a potential for a second season, and not just from the fans, but from the stars and producers as well, with even Kathleen Kennedy saying to Entertainment Tonight, well, frankly, we did set out to do that as a limited series, but I think if there's huge engagement and people really want more Obi-Wan, we'll certainly give that consideration because the fans, they speak to us, and if we feel like, okay, there's a real reason to do this, it's answering the why then we'll do it, but we'll see. So will there be a season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Should there be? I actually hope there's not a season 2 all about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I wouldn't mind a continuation of some of the ideas established throughout its 6 episodes. The development of this story was years in the making. I think the main idea they wanted to explore was about Ben Kenobi overcoming his past, his failures, and his fears to become Obi-Wan Kenobi again, and that was the strongest aspect of the series for me. I had some issues with its execution, but Kenobi's arc was great and made sense from episode to episode. I'm personally still split on whether or not this should have been a film, only because I wish it had a bigger budget, but I do think having 6 episodes and over 3.5 hours worth of storytelling really benefited not just Obi-Wan, but every character in the series. But at the end of the day, Ben's transformation back into Obi-Wan, his reconnection with the Force, and that being marked by the reappearance of Qui-Gon Jinn, to me, that's perfect. I'm good. That's not to say there isn't more to say or do with the character. My original predictions for this series was that it would largely take place on Tatooine, and it could be really trippy and weird and get into the Force and Obi-Wan's training to become a Force ghost. I would absolutely still watch that. But I wonder if it would feel like a step back for more casual Star Wars fans. I mean, we just watched Obi-Wan Kenobi rescue Princess Leia and confront Darth Vader again. That is a big, epic story, and I don't really think you can raise the stakes any higher than that. And I do not want Obi-Wan to keep running into Vader over the course of multiple seasons. I think that would be a mistake. Personally, I like the idea of doing something really weird in live action, seeing Kenobi undergo some metaphysical trials to become a Force ghost, but even with that, I feel like he just went through the greatest trial he possibly could. Like he might show up to the Wellspring of Life and the Force priestesses would be like, you know what, you're good, here's your Force ghost card. I'll also admit that Obi-Wan leaving Tatooine in this story, as well as the end of the series and the resolution with Luke and Owen, leads me to believe that Kenobi can and probably does leave the planet again at some point. That was something I was against at first, but they pulled it off well in the series, and now I'm like, okay, fine, you won me over, so I'm sure there is plenty he could do off-world. But I still don't want another season just focused on him. I'm very happy with how his story ended, so I think it makes more sense to shift the focus to someone else. The Path was a great new idea introduced in the series that I would absolutely enjoy seeing more of. We don't know what the future holds for Reva, but I'd love to see her join up and help out. In part 3, when she discovers the safe house, to me her rage was all about misplaced resentment and feeling like she'd been left behind. Why are so many people helping these Force-sensitive kids find safety when nobody helped me? But by the end of part 6, she has grown beyond that. I think it would be great to see her doing everything she can to save other Force-sensitive children from her fate. That would open the door for more appearances from Haja and Roken, not to mention other Jedi like Quinlan Vos, who helps out from time to time, or even Obi-Wan. I'm not opposed to seeing more Kenobi in the near future. In fact, I think it would be awesome, but I feel like he would be better in a supporting role, popping in to help out from time to time just like Quinlan. Maybe he opens up a safe house on Tatooine or something, which would be a nice development after what happened to Nari in part 1. Maybe he and Reva tackle that together. I like the idea of seeing more Obi-Wan, but I think his journey is pretty much over, and I don't know how much more he will change between now and A New Hope. I said this in my review for the season, but I struggled to be surprised by Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I think focusing on the new characters and allowing Obi-Wan to hop in for support will offer up more freedom in the storytelling. In general, I want Star Wars to keep expanding rather than continue to explore the same characters and the same time periods over and over. But I think Andor is at least a step in the right direction, and The Acolyte will be very new, so I'm getting that. With those series thrown into the mix, exploring some familiar territory is fine. But really, I just don't want them to keep returning to Obi-Wan Kenobi just because the series was successful. They went into this saying it would be a limited event. They had already stretched the story from 2-ish hours to over 3.5. If they've got a story to tell that's as strong as the first season, go for it. But figure that out first. I don't want them to announce Season 2 next week. And what's the story? Don't worry, we'll figure it out along the way. And who knows, it's possible they do have a great character arc in mind. Just because I don't know what it could be right now doesn't mean it's impossible. I was too short-sighted to see that Obi-Wan might leave Tatooine to protect Princess Leia, which is an idea that feels so obvious in hindsight, I still feel foolish for missing it. I've seen a ton of people clamoring online for a second season, and I'm definitely not trying to naysay that or tell you you're wrong or what to think. I'm just talking through my own thoughts and feelings on the whole thing. So now I'll throw it over to you. Do you want a second season? What would you want it to be about? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for further Obi-Wan Kenobi coverage, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.